Two-time Olympian Nzingha Prescod. Nzingha, watching your lessons, which Coach Buckie Leach, is very hypnotizing. You guys have this incredibly fluid movement, very synchronized, kind of choreographed, where in your movement lessons, there's so many things happening at once, but no talking whatsoever. Walk us through what you're feeling and what you're looking for during your lessons.
Yeah, during my lessons, it's always different, but I really want to work on not getting anything wrong. Usually in Buckie's lessons, there's a lot of options, so he'll cue me to do one of the options, and it takes a lot of focus and discipline to do the right one or the one that he wants, and he's very specific with what he's looking for, so it's hard to get like the actual technique right too, so there's always a technical and tactical component, and there's also a lot of moving up and down before the real moment comes to do whatever action. So I really love Buckie's lessons because they kind of hit everything. They're very well-rounded. So, and I've been taking lessons with him since I was 10, and I'm 23, so 13 years. So I would hope that it was a flow. There was a flow going on. Yeah, definitely we synergize. So yeah.
Beginning at the age of 10, now 13 years later, when did the two of you really begin to sync like that, and when did the vocal component or speaking really kind of disappear?
I feel like I kind of know all his tricks now. So then sometimes when you do like national camps and he'll do like an exercise and I'm like, I know what comes next. Because really we do a lot of the same stuff. Not all the time, but I just know his pattern a lot, so it makes sense to me. Yeah.
And is that pattern developed through, kind of like you said, the prompts or the different looks that he's giving you, and basically the situational awareness that you develop through those different scenarios?
Yeah, I have an idea of what he's looking for most of the time. He'll kind of give me a foundation, and then from there I know, based on what else he's doing, that he wants me to build on it in this way, or like go on to the next stage in this way. And we actually do talk a lot about what we want to work on, or what I feel like I need to do more in my fencing, and yeah, he'll apply that to my lessons, and then I'll take from my lessons into my bout, like things I want to work on. So I just want to make sure right now that we're working on things that are very applicable to my bouts and what I'm good at. So.
And because there's so much happening in your lessons, they're extremely dynamic. There's tempo, there's distance, there's the movement, your actions. For you, what aspects are you really keying in on or focusing on? Obviously, there's attention on everything, but what's kind of the number one thing you're trying to pull from each lesson?
Yeah, generally I'm trying to make sure I'm starting slow, my tips moving before my legs. That my intent is there, like with whatever I'm doing. So if I'm doing a false attack, understanding why I'm doing it, or like how it would look in a bout, or envision myself doing it in a bout. Or if I'm doing a false counterattack, like imagining that I'm doing a real counterattack, and then breaking it down step by step like that, and kind of having a purpose for each step is important. And it's really hard to do that and focus on the action and your technique and like breathing and like being tired and like, yeah, so you're juggling those things constantly. Yeah.
Anyone who's seen a lesson with Buckie knows like they're also like very physically challenging. Because of the movement, it's a workout.
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely a cardio workout. Yeah, I definitely have to prepare for those.
Also, Buckie's extremely creative in his stuff and in the things that he shows, but also his approach to the sport as a whole. And as he's kind of grown in the sport, he's really developed a system. What are some of the most creative aspects that you've been able to take from him and make your own, or just generally are using as his system?
Buckie really likes to do attacks on the step and false counterattack actions. And those are very like foundational basics But from there, there's different ways you can do it. You can do false counterattack with just your arm, or like with your leg, or with a half step, or with a full step, or with a lunge, or and then you can do it from like a 4 line, from a 6 line without the blade. So adding those parts in, and then like tacking on the step, you can. There's different ways to set it up, which I'm still figuring out, and I will get back to you. Just kidding. But yeah, putting pressure, and then when the person starts, and then like doing a false attack, and then making them start, and being like starting and going back, and then going forward. A lot of change direction actions like that.
So basically, like a decision tree from every foundational point.
Yeah, but it's never so simple as that. So yeah.
Now, you mentioned kind of being able to translate the things you learn in your lesson to actually being on the strip. How do you make that step from all the things that you've learned and continue to learn with Buckie to then stepping on the strip and implementing them?
I think you should start small. Let's try to start small. Like, I was working on. You have to understand what you're doing first, and so understand that I was working on like double advance and like parrying or something. And I know that you do that when the person's starting their attack. So I have to fully understand it and understand the purpose of it, and then that's when I can apply it to the bout. So yeah, I kind of have in my head like these are things I want to work on. These are 2 things that we worked on in my lessons. I want to work on them in my bout, and I have to like very actively tell myself every touch like work on this, work on this, work on this, because otherwise you can get distracted or focus on winning the bout or doing something else. But if you focus on just one action, I feel like it pays off more in the end than doing random stuff all the time and trying to win all the time.
Well, certainly not
random. Very important, but yeah.
Well, certainly not random. As your actions and everything has always appeared very deliberate, and it's proving to be successful. So, keep it up, Nzingha.
Thank you.